Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Actor. Plays a scammer and gets expelled from the genealogy. Traveling through parallel worlds, Jiang Feng has become a somewhat famous and powerful actor, bound to the divine-level actor system. However, his predecessor offended most of the entertainment industry due to his outspoken speech. Jiang Feng personally went to Hengdian to audition for the production team of All for One and played the role of Manager Lu, the leader of a fraud group. He is extremely arrogant in throwing money, brainwashing his subordinates, and shooting and threatening them if they don't agree. The cold-blooded and cruel details of the crime were vividly portrayed by Jiang Feng. Even the crew members were panicked by it. Ning how? Jiang Feng, please keep it safe. This is too scary. Audience. It is recommended that the official strictly investigate the 3 generations of Jiang Feng's ancestors, as they do not seem to be acting. Jiang family leader. The rebellious son of the Jiang family did not abide by his duty, defrauded the people's hard-earned money, and expelled from the family tree. Later, Jiang Feng also starred in He Fei in The Disappearing She, Gao Qiqiang in Fury, and Dong Shu in Ice-Breaking Operation. Not only has it attracted the attention of a group of police officers, but it has also been repeatedly filed in the bureau. Jiang Feng. I'll just shoot a scene, as for what? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Crazy. To offend half with one's own strength. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Huaxia, Hengdian Film and Television City. A man stood at the entrance of the film and television city, looking around in confusion. And around him, many group performers dressed in strange costumes hurriedly rushed to their respective production teams. But as they passed by the man, many people stopped to scrutinize him and left in droves. Is this time traveling? Jiang Feng muttered to himself. Yes. Just 5 minutes ago, Jiang Feng crossed into a parallel world like the Blue Star. And his identity changed to a highly renowned and powerful actor. Before Jiang Feng could even become happy, many unfamiliar memory fragments merged into his mind. After Jiang Feng reunited with the memories of his predecessor, his face couldn't help but pull down. Although Jiang Feng is a 3rd or 4th tier actor, he is also a well-known celebrity. But his current situation is not much different from that of Xuezang. The reason behind this is that my predecessor spoke the truth that no one else dared to say, which offended many people. When his predecessor first debuted, he also made a name for himself in the entertainment industry with his clever mouth and even starred in several explosive dramas. But just last year, his former mother and best friend passed away one after another, allowing him to see through many things. From then on, my predecessor couldn't stand the corrupt practices in the entertainment industry and no longer flattered them. Not only that, he also publicly stated that his famous work Ice in Apartment was a product of plagiarism and refused to participate in the movie version. The box office performance of a film directed by a major industry director was not satisfactory, and other celebrities strongly supported it, but he frankly stated that it was a bad film. In the end, he even closed his social media account with over 6 million followers, completely sealing himself off. Nowadays, Jiang Feng has faced resistance from industry insiders and is regarded by netizens as an ungrateful villain. Even his few fans, due to the lack of new works, have gradually embarked on the path of losing fans. These are already quite outrageous, but what's even more outrageous is the reason for the death of the predecessor was because there was only 1 million in the bank card, so he couldn't sleep all night. In the end, he died of depression. After Jiang Feng had a clear understanding of his predecessor's past, he couldn't resist speaking up and cursing. Is there such a way of dying? I'm going to the mud horse. Are actors really special and can they make money? For ordinary people, a lifetime of hard work may save less than 1 million. But his predecessor was anxious because he only had 1 million, and even lost his life as a result. While Jiang Feng was speechless, he couldn't help but make plans for his future. As an old bookworm, Jiang Feng also understands that the system is a standard feature for travelers. Of course. Jiang Feng also has its own system, the God-level movie Emperor system. As long as Jiang Feng's acting skills are recognized by the public, they can receive positive reviews. Positive reviews can be used for system lottery, and the items in the lottery pool are also quite abundant. From elixirs to luxury cars and banknotes. Only you can't imagine that without the system, it cannot be extracted. Not only that, the system also gave him an articulate skill. After possessing this skill, Jiang Feng's persuasiveness will be greatly improved and he will have strong brainwashing ability. When playing related character roles, his own acting skills will also be greatly improved. Although this skill has limitations on character selection. But the entertainment industry is so big, with hundreds of production teams starting every day. As long as Jiang Feng looks carefully, he can definitely find a suitable character. Normally, with the help of the God-level actor system, the journey of Jiang Feng's stars will definitely be smooth sailing. But the problem is that his predecessor almost offended most people in the entertainment industry, and no one came to him to act. Not only that, even the original brokerage company regarded him as a plague god and terminated his contract early on. Well, my predecessor just arrived at Hengdian Film and Television City and wanted to see if there were any suitable characters. But under the discussion of passers-by, I thought of the balance in my card. Angry and unable to recover, he went like this. Jiang Feng didn't have as many burdens as his predecessor and swaggered into Hengdian Film and Television City. Jiang Feng is well aware of his current situation. But it's okay, as long as Jiang Feng is given a talkative character, he can guarantee that he can become famous overnight. The Hengdian Film and Television City has an extremely large area, with hundreds of crew members working here every day. If Jiang Feng went to audition one by one, not only would the efficiency be slow, but also based on the reputation of its predecessor, it is feared that it will be shut down countless times. At that time, not only did they not find a suitable role, but it also greatly affected their mentality. Therefore, Jiang Feng looked around and also began to look for opportunities to take action. In the end, his gaze locked on the old banyan tree, where several group heads were taking a cool breath. Jiang Feng felt a little on his body and found half a pack of high-end cigarettes in his pocket. At this point, Jiang Feng quickly walked towards the direction of the group and quickly handed them a cigarette. These group leaders are old fogies. Without this package of high-end cigarettes, they can't open their mouths. After all, they hold the most complete resources of Hengdian Film and Television City in their hands. They can almost immediately know what's going on among the major production teams and provide them with a large number of actors. Whether it's a small group performance for 70.81 days or a special actor who earns tens of thousands of yuan, they can handle it in just one sentence. When the group leaders saw Jiang Feng smoking cigarettes for themselves, a hint of shock flashed on their faces. But soon, they reacted and happily took the cigarette. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask, which production team nearby is short of actors? As soon as Jiang Feng spoke, the group leaders looked at each other and didn't say a word. Being on the front line of the entertainment industry, they also know about the past events of Jiang Feng. In their view, Jiang Feng is no different from those group performers. Even he is not as good as them. After all, Jiang Feng has offended most of the entertainment industry, and hardly any crew dares to take him. Jiang, are you joking with us? If you want to act, don't all the major production teams have to queue up for you? That's it. All we need are group performances that serve as background boards. It would be great if you could show your face. A celebrity of your level is definitely not worth it. Director Yu Zheng is filming a Qin Palace drama, and he still lacks a eunuch with lines. However, even if he is willing to have you, you probably won't agree, right? The group leaders were joking and teasing, as if they had turned this matter over. They mingle with all the major theatrical groups, each of them is a veteran, and they will not go to this muddy water. Seeing this situation, Jiang Feng had no choice but to give up and prepare to walk inside again to take a look. Just as Jiang Feng turned around and left, a group leader calmly called out to him. Chapter 2. The former kings were reduced to bronze, difficult to turn over. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Director Ning Hao is casting on Hong Kong Street and said he wants to make a movie about telecom fraud. If you have time, you can go and take a look. Director Ning Hao. Jiang Feng looked at the group leader in surprise and continued to ask, do you know the name of the movie? What is it called? Loneliness. Loneliness. A desperate gamble, it should be a desperate gamble. I'm not sure about the specifics, their production team even had to audition for group performances and didn't package the project for us. After receiving this news, Jiang Feng also walked excitedly towards Xiangjiang Street. You should know, that's director Ning Hao, the sixth-generation director of Huaxia. He is not only a renowned director both domestically and internationally, but also has quite impressive box office results. As early as in his past life, Jiang Feng had watched a series of excellent films he co-produced, such as Crazy Stone, No Man's Land, and I'm Not a Medicine God. Especially directed by Ning Hao, Crazy Racing achieved box office results of over 100 million yuan with an investment cost of 10 million yuan, which is simply a myth of Chinese cinema. Ning Hao also became the fourth mainland director to enter the billion yuan club after Zhang Yimou, Chen Kaiga, and Feng Xiaojiang due to this film. Jiang Feng thought that if he could really get a role to show his face from it, there is no doubt that he will be able to get out of the current predicament and step onto the right track as an actor. Looking at the cheerful back of Jiang Feng, the heads of the group also smiled at each other, and then whispered roast. The entertainment industry is really unpredictable, and such a big celebrity has fallen to asking us for information. Who can be blamed for this? It's not that he's just pretending too much. He's both putting on airs and creating character designs, so let's just ruin himself. Whether or not to say it, Jiang Feng can also be considered a powerful actor. If Ning Hao really gives him a role, he may not be able to make a comeback. Ning Hao even has to personally audition for group performances, it's very strict. How could he possibly have someone like Jiang Feng who causes trouble? Isn't this damaging his reputation? As soon as I mention this, I remember Jiang Feng slandering Ice in Apartment. He really has no conscience. If it weren't for this TV drama, who would have known him? The group leaders were discussing with each other, their words filled with distrust of Jiang Feng. The former king, reduced to bronze, was only worthy of being a topic of conversation for everyone's leisure time. However, the group leaders only regarded this matter as a joke and did not delve deeper. After all, who would spend too much effort on a scumbag? In theory, all major production teams entering and exiting Hengdian require an actor's license, otherwise it would be difficult to move forward. But because his predecessor starred in several explosive dramas, he has become a well-known celebrity. Therefore, Jiang Feng also relied on his face to have unobstructed access throughout the entire Hengdian. Quickly, he arrived at Xiangjiang Street and saw Ning Hao's participation in the production of One Stop, One Stop. Jiang Feng didn't think much and walked straight into the crew. On the way, they encountered several events, but they didn't stop Jiang Feng. Instead, they whispered to each other. Upon hearing their discussion, Jiang Feng did not show any stress response. After all, what our predecessors did was quite explosive. Jiang Feng turned his head and looked at the audience discussing his affairs. He smiled and asked, "Hello, may I ask where director Ning Hao is?" "You. Go straight down this street, the room on the right side of the second intersection, where Ning producer and Shen director are auditioning." After the field staff replied, they hurriedly ran away. They were afraid that Jiang Feng remembered his appearance and would cause unnecessary trouble for them. After all, they openly discussed Jiang Feng and were caught on the spot. If Jiang Feng really starts to argue, then they will be in big trouble. After receiving the desired news, Jiang Feng also followed their route downwards. From the words of the audience, Jiang Feng also learned that Ning Hao's position in All for One was as a producer, not as the overall director. The producer is the representative of the investor, responsible for the artistic quality and market prospects of the entire film, with almost the same authority as the director. Having Ning Hao in charge can ensure the quality of this movie, but more importantly can the crew of All in One Throw give Jiang Feng a chance to play and help him get out of his current predicament. As soon as Jiang Feng entered the audition room, he heard a fierce argument. It is precisely because of the existence of these little fresh meat that the film and television industry has been tarnished. I've said it before, don't have small fresh meat, and don't lower the quality just for the sake of traffic. Audiences are not fools. Only by down-to-earth filming and presenting the best film quality can we earn beautiful box office results. The speaker was none other than Ning Hao, who was fiercely rebuking the actors and staff around him. Ning Hao has always had strict control over the quality of his films, and no one is allowed to fish in troubled waters. The movie All for One is Ning Hao's beloved work, which aims to compete against major films during the summer break. As a result, various tricks have emerged since the proposed actors were invited. Firstly, the director used a lot of popular celebrities to make the box office results look better. Later, an old actor was unable to continue participating due to physical problems. As he watched, the movie was about to start filming, and Ning Hao had no choice. I agreed to let a little fresh meat come and play again to avoid delaying the filming progress of the crew. After all, if the crew delays for an extra day, they will face losses of tens or even millions. Originally, Ning Hao had some criticisms about this matter. Xiao Xianrou's acting skills have always been poor, especially the character of Manager Lu, who is still the soul of the entire movie. As long as the character of Manager Lu is established, the entire play will be mostly successful. But no one expected that the little fresh meat would just start showing off without acting skills. Either the remuneration is too low, or the number of scenes is too small, which puts various demands on the production team. The matter has been dragging on until today, and the movie has already started filming, while that little fresh meat has not yet been included in the production. The purpose is to procrastinate and seek the maximum benefit for oneself. Previously, the production team had already made the biggest concession in order to ensure the smooth start of the movie. Little fresh meat, however, is not satisfied with this and is still pressing forward step by step. Ning Hao no longer got used to him and directly told him not to come. He didn't believe it anymore. He had been in the entertainment industry for so many years and couldn't even find an actor to save the show. If we really can't find a suitable actor, we won't be able to top it. Even if Ning Hao shelves this play, he won't use any fresh meat anymore. Of course. As long as it is absolutely necessary, Ning Hao will make this decision. After all, the movie has already started filming and the funds have been invested. If filming is abruptly halted, the crew will face huge losses. Just when Ning Hao was at a loss, he suddenly saw a familiar figure in the crowd. The River Breeze. Chapter 3. Banknotes are like rain, roaring down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ning Hao instinctively called Jiang Feng's name, and everyone followed his gaze. Sure enough, they saw the River Breeze in the corner. They had already been recognized by Ning Hao, and Jiang Feng didn't stand behind anymore. Instead, he walked generously towards him. Seeing this, everyone couldn't help but take a cold breath. Although Jiang Feng may not be considered a little fresh meat, just the little moths he has created, it cannot be said that it is on par, it can only be said that it is unique. I heard that producer Ning is auditioning for a new movie, so I came over to take a look. Excuse me, is there still a shortage of actors in the production team? As soon as Jiang Feng spoke, everyone was stunned, and then everyone turned their attention to Jiang Feng. Everyone understands that Jiang Feng is a difficult character to deal with, and compared to those little fresh meats, he is no less impressive. Naturally, the vast majority of people do not want to work with Jiang Feng, and they also feel that Ning Hao will politely refuse Jiang Feng. But no one expected, Ning Hao handed the script directly to Jiang Feng and said calmly. The role of Manager Lu has not been decided yet. You can try a scene first. If the effect is good, we can just go through the contract. Before this, Ning Hao had no suitable candidates in his heart, and he was completely pushed into a desperate situation. But when he saw the river breeze, he suddenly had a feeling of willows and flowers shining brightly. Ning Hao has also heard of the things that Jiang Feng did before. But in Ning Hao's view, compared to the actions of those little fresh meats, he is completely insignificant. Moreover, Jiang Feng's actions are not considered any black material, but they are just daring to tell the truth. More importantly, Jiang Feng's acting skills are excellent and can give a character new life. Ning Hao also understands that Jiang Feng is someone who can go crazy for movies. Since Jiang Feng took the initiative to ask, Ning Hao is also willing to give him a chance to audition. If a win-win situation can be achieved, it is naturally the best. When Jiang Feng received the script, he began to speculate about the characters in the script. And there was no idle time on Ning Hao's side, and many staff members walked up to him, openly and secretly saying that Jiang Feng was not good. Producer Ning, it seems that Jiang Feng is not very suitable for our production team, is he? He is not the kind of sensible person. Yeah, right. He can openly backstab his famous works, isn't that what you're doing? Jiang Feng's current popularity among passers-by is not very good, which is likely to affect the final box office of our film. Although there are many things to do with fresh meat, they at least have the capital. Compared to Jiang Feng, they are still more than enough. Ning Hao frowned tightly and glanced lightly at the people around him discussing. Under the gaze of Ning Hao's death, those people closed their mouths slightly and dared not continue speaking. After coming for a while, Ning Hao spoke coldly. As long as I know how to act, everything else is not important. If you really like fresh meat, invest yourself and invite them to act. As soon as Ning Hao said this, those staff members who were chewing their tongues dared not speak up again. Everyone closed their mouths and dared not even breathe. On the other side, Jiang Feng also followed through the content of the audition segment. Due to time constraints, Jiang Feng could not read the script from beginning to end. The character he is going to audition for is the head of a fraud group, Manager Lu, who happens to be able to maximize the system's ability to speak fluently. In this scene, the fraud group's performance exceeded 60 million yuan, and Manager Lu held a celebration banquet. In order to motivate the employees under his command, Manager Lu had people pile up money together to share this joy with them. Although it was an audition, all the props and group performances were already in place. Beside Jiang Feng, there were piles of banknotes piled up like mountains. This pile of banknotes can indeed impress people and create some excitement. But Jiang Feng looked at the script and then at the scene, feeling that something was not right. He frowned and pondered for a moment, then put himself in the role of Manager Lu. As the leader of a fraud group, he not only needs to scam the target person's funds, but also needs to persuade his employees to work hard for him. But what was written on the line was, "Everyone, come up and get money based on their own performance." After Jiang Feng entered, he felt that this sentence was too plain. Not only does it fail to showcase the wickedness of the fraud group, but it also fails to showcase the arrogance of Manager Lu. Thanks to the system's ability to speak fluently, Jiang Feng has a deeper understanding of the role of Manager Lu. Manager Lu's hosting of this celebration banquet is definitely not just superficial celebration. More importantly, let employees see the scene of spendthrift and become addicted to it. In this situation, Manager Lu should give them a little sweetness, but not too much. He needs a seemingly fair but not overly expensive way for employees to participate in this game. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng's mind suddenly came up with the game of chopsticks holding money. Only in this way can the arrogance of manager Lu be displayed, fully showcasing his feeling of treating money as a game. After Jiang Feng had conceived the scene, he quickly walked towards Ning Hao and directly expressed his own thoughts. Producer Ning, this scene was indeed written brilliantly. But I think the lines are a bit too plain, and the construction of the scene is not yet perfect. As soon as Jiang Feng said these words, everyone took a deep breath. They all stared at Jiang Feng one by one, as if to see what tricks he could come up with. Looking at their expressions, it seemed like they were just talking. See, I've already said that Jiang Feng is a bad master to serve. On the other hand, Ning Hao not only showed no displeasure, but also showed some spirit. He leaned back in his chair and said leisurely, "Then tell me how to make changes to achieve better results." Ning Hao has been in the film and television industry for most of his life, and he thinks his choreography is not a problem. When others see the plot and visuals he has designed, they are basically praising him repeatedly. Ning Hao is not a foolish person either. He knows that most people compliment him and dare not tell the truth. It was not easy to encounter someone who dared to speak the truth, and Ning Hao was also willing to listen attentively. After Jiang Feng expressed his thoughts just now, he added. Producer Ning, these banknotes piled up in a mountain do have a visual impact, but if you put them in a burlap bag. The employees stood on chairs, pouring money out of burlap bags, and the banknotes fell like rain. The words spoken by Jiang Feng have a strong sense of imagery. Just as Ning Hao listened, he already felt the arrogant feeling of spending money like dirt. With a slap, Ning Hao stood up from his chair and looked at Jiang Feng with an appreciative expression on his face. Chapter 4. Ignoring some worldly wisdom in the entertainment industry. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Ning Hao truly understood he found manager Lu and an actor who could imbue him with a soul. Jiang Feng did not stop his explanation, but continued to speak. At this moment, I appeared and casually reached out my hand, feeling the money sliding from my arm. At the same time, I'll say those mocking lines. Which one do you think works better? As Jiang Feng expressed his views word by word, Ning Hao's face became increasingly shocked. Prior to this, Ning Hao felt that he already had a good understanding of this script. But after listening to Jiang Feng's explanation, he realized that the mysterious power that actors give to characters is extremely great. Jiang Feng's expression is not only the professional actor's understanding of the script and scene arrangement. What's even more impressive is the radiance in Jiang Feng's eyes that belongs exclusively to manager Lu. Underhanded. Scam. Arrogance. At this moment, standing in front of Ning Hao is no longer Jiang Feng, but a true leader of a fraud group. In fact, when Ning Hao first saw this script, he also felt that some aspects were not quite right. But as Jiang Feng gained insight into this play, Ning Hao instantly felt that he had given it a new soul, which could propel it to a higher level. Originally, Ning Hao estimated that the box office of this play would be around 1 billion yuan. But now, Ning Hao feels it is not impossible to hit the box office of 2 billion yuan. After all, the advice provided by Jiang Feng to this play is effective and can add the finishing touch. Ning Hao looked at the tall man in front of him and took a deep breath. He has not encountered such an excellent actor in a long time. Not only can he endow the character with soul, but he can also greatly enhance the plot layout of this film. Ning Hao has never cared about funding and seniority, he only focuses on the drama itself. As long as it can add luster and color to the film, Ning Hao will pay the highest respect to that person. Then, Ning Hao bowed deeply to the river breeze. Teacher Jiang Feng, thank you very much for your advice. Ning has been impressed by you, and I am convinced. Producer Ning's words are heavy. Jiang Feng quickly took a step forward and helped Ning Hao up. For Jiang Feng, it was only with systematic guidance that he was able to have such profound insights. Moreover, in front of everyone's eyes a film and television tycoon like Ning Hao bows to himself, which is like pushing him to the forefront of the storm. If someone with a heart posts this section online, Jiang Feng may not be able to escape a cyberbullying. At the same time, the surrounding staff did not take Jiang Feng's views seriously. They didn't understand why Jiang Feng was so appreciated by Ning Hao for just offering a small suggestion. But right now, in front of the two big shots, they dare not directly discuss and can only communicate with their eyes. Looking around, the vast majority of people are disdainful. At this point, Ning Hao had already instructed the matter and had people follow Jiang Feng's requirements to find several large burlap bags to come and earn money. In fact, from the moment Jiang Feng expressed his thoughts, the role of manager Lu was already his. But everyone has arrived and the scene has been built, so Ning Hao feels that we still need to go through a transition. Only in this way can people be convinced. While setting up the scene, Ning Hao pulled Jiang Feng to a secluded place. Teacher Jiang Feng, I have already asked my assistant to agree to sign the contract. But there is one thing that I need to explain. The role of manager Lu was originally intended for an old actor, and he didn't want a high salary of only 1.2 million yuan. Although they are unable to participate due to scheduling reasons, you should know that your film's salary is higher than theirs, and you will definitely feel uncomfortable in your heart. Upon hearing Ning Hao's words, Jiang Feng also understood what was going on. For Jiang Feng, having a play that he can perform is already very good. As for the remuneration, Jiang Feng doesn't matter. Furthermore, filming a movie can earn you 1.2 million yuan, which is already very good. If it were placed in an ordinary family, I wouldn't be able to earn so much money in my lifetime. Nowadays, Jiang Feng has been bound to the divine level actor system, and in the future, there will definitely be no worries about food and clothing. As long as a play can explode, the system will definitely benefit him, and he doesn't have to worry about the issue of more or less money. Producer Ning, just pay according to the original plan. I only value the play, and the pay is secondary. Upon hearing Jiang Feng's words, Ning Hao also understood that he had not found the wrong person. But if he signs a contract with Jiang Feng at such a low salary, Ning Hao still feels a bit uneasy. After all, the quotes for those few fresh meats have already gone through millions and are not yet satisfied with them. Although Jiang Feng's desire for high-paying films is not as strong, Ning Hao cannot simply refuse to pay at all. Isn't that bullying honest people, and even more chilling for excellent actors? Teacher Jiang Feng, I can get a 5-point bonus as the director of One Stop. So, I'll give you 2 points, and it'll be your technical guidance on this movie. In recent years, the film and television industry has vigorously cracked down on high film salaries. Projects such as technical guidance fees actually indirectly increased the remuneration of actors. A film and television tycoon like Ning Hao naturally looks down on actors who only focus on making money. But here in Jiang Feng, Ning Hao feels that he is worth having this expense. With just Jiang Feng's modification of the celebration banquet scene, he is no longer an ordinary actor. Faced with such a huge concession, Jiang Feng's statement that he didn't feel tempted was definitely false. That's the movie dividend, even if the box office is only 1 billion, 2 points is still 2 million. Not to mention, if this movie goes viral, it will have a box office of over 1.2 billion yuan. By then, it will be a dividend of tens of millions. Who would be unhappy to receive so much money for no reason? You can put yourself in your shoes and think about it. Will Ning Hao feel comfortable then? Indeed, Ning Hao is already a big shot in the film and television industry, and has already lived a worry-free life. But who would think too much of money? Ning Hao is willing to give up the dividends now, because the real gold and silver are not even in front of him, so he can dispose of them freely. But when the movie was released and the final box office came out, Jiang Feng received the dividend that originally belonged to Ning Hao. It can be imagined that Ning Hao's heart will definitely not be comfortable. This money is naturally unacceptable to Jiang Feng. Although Jiang Feng does not deliberately flatter, basic human and worldly wisdom still needs to be done. The entertainment industry is like this: if we speak the truth recklessly like our predecessors, it will definitely be extremely cold. Of course. Jiang Feng does not intend to receive this dividend, nor does he fully demonstrate how knowledgeable he is about human relationships and worldly wisdom. But it's because what Jiang Feng wants is Ning Hao's affection. Chapter 5. If you feel at ease, who will? You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the entertainment industry, human relationships are priceless treasures. Indeed, the reputation of its predecessor was not good. But he didn't make any principled mistakes, nor did he have any black material, but he just spoke a bit straightforwardly. Ultimately, whether he was not invited to act or because of his low status. The entertainment industry nowadays is completely controlled by capital. Producers help capital control the quality of films, which actually represents capital and has a high voice. Not to mention that the Chinese film industry is director-centered, the director the final say everything. If it were really like this, those little fresh meat wouldn't be able to enter the film and television industry, let alone make it look like this. In this era, even international directors like Lao Jizi have to listen to capital. Moreover, it's those little directors who are still unknown. Ning Hao is such a shrewd person who comes from a background as a great director and has also made many popular movies. Why did he transition from a director to a producer? Isn't that because the producer has a higher say and things are easier? So, as long as Jiang Feng can successfully connect with the Ning Hao line, that's equivalent to having top-notch connections in the entertainment industry, and they are indestructible. This kind of interpersonal relationship cannot be bought for hundreds or millions of dollars. If All in One Throw became popular, Ning Hao would definitely think of Jiang Feng's rejection today after receiving so many dividends. With a disguised increase of tens of millions of profits, Ning Hao will definitely devote all his resources to promote the popularity of the river. Taking a step back, even if All in One didn't go viral, Jiang Feng's act of delivering charcoal in the snow is enough to make Ning Hao remember it in his heart. It cannot be said that Jiang Feng will surely have a bright future, but at least it will be better than the current situation. So, the dividends for these 2 points are unacceptable to Jiang Feng no matter what. After seeing Jiang Feng's resolute refusal, Ning Hao's favoritism towards him also gradually increased. Without comparison, there is no harm. The previous few fresh meats kept increasing their salaries, wishing to empty out the budget of the production team. Jiang Feng not only did not have any objections to low film salaries, but also refused even the dividends offered by Ning Hao. These days, there are too few sincere actors like Jiang Feng. After getting in touch with him, Ning Hao also felt that he didn't look like what was said online. Regardless of Jiang Feng's current reputation, as long as his acting skills are good, he can turn things around in the future. Although Jiang Feng has firmly stated that he does not want the dividends for those 2 points anymore. However, Ning Hao still felt a bit uneasy in his heart. The actor who is so sensible and has acting skills can only receive a salary of 1.2 million yuan, which is really not worth it. Teacher Jiang Feng, it's really inappropriate for an excellent actor like you to receive such a low salary. Let's do it this way. I will personally give you another 1.8 million yuan for technical guidance, and help you increase the total remuneration to 3 million yuan. Otherwise, such a low salary is really outrageous. It not only makes our crew seem stingy, but also makes a good actor like you feel cold-hearted. The reason why Ning Hao proposed this idea is also to make himself feel more at ease. Actors like Jiang Feng, who have both topic and acting skills, are of great strength according to common sense. The remuneration for each film is above 5 million yuan. But now, their production team has only offered for over 1 million yuan. If this were to be spread, there would be some sense of taking advantage of the situation. How could Jiang Feng not understand Ning Hao's thoughts? What he wants is that Ning Hao cannot feel at ease. At the same time, it is also a fear that Ning Hao made this decision with a hot head, and when he thinks about it, he will feel uncomfortable in his heart. Now that the local authorities have rejected it directly, Ning Hao can still remember Jiang Feng's image of not valuing fame and fortune, and only wanting to perform well. Correspondingly, Ning Hao will definitely be able to pay more attention to promoting the Jiang Feng culture. Producer Ning, I only want this 1.2 million yuan salary. I don't want any extra money. No, no, no. These movie rewards are what you deserve. Producer Ning, I only value the play. Whether the money is high or low will not affect my research on the script. But if you put this funding elsewhere, it will definitely make a huge difference. As soon as Jiang Feng said these words, Ning Hao also looked at him differently. Originally, Ning Hao thought that Jiang Feng was too embarrassed to accept the dividends, so he made excuses. But now at first glance, Jiang Feng is a truly good actor, completely from the perspective of the crew. An actor like him who knows the general picture cannot be buried here. Immediately, Ning Hao secretly made a decision in his heart that he must promote the Red River Wind. If all-in-one can only make one actor famous, it is definitely Jiang Feng. At the same time, the scene management also rearranged the scene, and Jiang Feng and Ning Hao also returned to the filming site. When Jiang Feng saw the 7 or 8 burlap bags full of burlap, he also nodded in agreement. It needs to be so simple and rough to better reflect that this is within a criminal group. A truly good actor is fully integrated into the character, and there is no need for the director to give orders. Jiang Feng glanced lightly at the staff beside the burlap bag and said coldly, "Go. Stand on the chair and pour out all the money in the burlap bag." Chapter 6. Ning Hao. Have I become his prey? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After hearing Jiang Feng's instructions, the faces of those staff members were all filled with disdain. Ning Hao didn't even speak. What is Jiang Feng pretending to be here? They want to pour out the money from the sack now, but Ning Hao will not be satisfied when the time comes. It will be them who work hard. Jiang Feng saw that the staff had no response and gave them a sharp eye. He didn't say a word, but the staff felt that the air around him had cooled down. Even then, they all had goosebumps on their bodies. Jiang Feng completely lost his previous easy-going demeanor and instead became the ruthless and oppressive manager Lu. The staff looked at each other with fear on their faces. Subsequently, they also obeyed Jiang Feng's orders, stood on chairs, and poured out the money from the sack. With a loud clatter, the banknotes fell out of the sack, and the individual banknotes floated up. For a moment, everyone's gaze focused on that place. The assistant frowned as soon as he saw this scene. Ning Hao hasn't even spoken yet, and the audition hasn't started yet. Isn't this adding to the chaos? Just as the assistant was about to speak up to stop him, Ning Hao shook his head and stopped his behavior. Subsequently, Ning Hao shifted all his gaze to Jiang Feng and stared intently at his every move. I saw Jiang Feng casually taking the wine bottle from the table and lazily walking towards the direction of the rain of banknotes. Jiang Feng not right. At this moment, Jiang Feng has changed his appearance, completely becoming the manager Lu in the script. Manager Lu slowly walked forward, reaching out to the nearby banknote rain. He didn't grab a banknote, but rather felt the sensation of it slipping through his hand recklessly. Everyone, come up with chopsticks to pick up money. Dong! Everyone suddenly felt that their heartbeat had accelerated a bit, and their feet were uncontrollably wanting to take a step forward. However, they still managed to control their behavior and did not really walk towards the pile of banknotes. Manager Lu's lips curved into an arrogant smile and he bent down to grab a large handful of banknotes. He raised his hand high, grabbing the money, with the corners of his mouth still raised, looking proud. How much can I hold back based on my own abilities, but each person only has one chance. At this moment, everyone's gaze was also tightly fixed on the half of the money in the hands of the landing manager. Not only that, but their eyes also showed a strong desire. Even a few people couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Get ready. Everyone's hearts lifted, and their eyes wandered back and forth between Manager Lu and the pile of banknotes. Looking at their urgent expressions, the longing in their eyes was almost overflowing. But many people understand that this is just an audition, which strongly controls their inner desires. Especially those old fogies who have worked with many drama groups, they have got rid of their curiosity about filming and totally regard it as a job. At this moment, Manager Lu shouted loudly, "Let's start." Following closely behind, Manager Lu lightly jumped up and forcefully scattered the banknotes in his hand. As a result, there were large amounts of banknotes floating around Manager Lu. Rao is an old man who has seen the world. They can't help but stretch out their hands to catch the money falling in the air. Not only that, many staff members actually rushed to the banknote pile. They grabbed the scattered banknotes with their hands, their faces beaming with brilliant smiles. Looking at those greedy faces, Manager Lu also showed an arrogant smile. As if sensing the scorching gaze, Manager Lu turned his head to look at Ning Hao. However, Manager Lu's face did not change at all, as if he had not seen Ning Hao observing beside him. Then, Manager Lu casually lifted the bottle and took a breath with a smile. But when he put down the bottle, his arrogant smile was full of disdain. As Manager Lu swallowed the sip of wine, his gaze at Ning Hao suddenly became fierce, as if staring at a prey. At this moment, Ning Hao was also stared at by Manager Lu, and his heart was filled with anger. Subconsciously, he avoided that gaze. Even my body trembled uncontrollably. Ning Hao had a clear and profound perception of Manager Lu's existence, which was fierce, arrogant, and inhumane. When Ning Hao gathered his courage and looked at Manager Lu again, the fierce gaze had disappeared, and Manager Lu's gaze did not stop at him, but turned to the staff in the pile of banknotes. Ning Hao turned slightly and saw Manager Lu's lips slightly raised, revealing a meaningful smile. That was a victory laugh when the prey arrived, and also a mockery of disdain for lower creatures. Perfect. What a perfect performance. The 4 simple sentences were portrayed by Jiang Feng with a feeling of endless twists and turns. Not to mention live group performances, even the crew members who have worked for many years have been inspired by Jiang Feng's acting skills. Ning Hao nodded in agreement and walked towards the direction of the river breeze, while vigorously clapping his hands. Great! Teacher Jiang Feng, your acting skills are really amazing. It's like Manager Lu himself being present at the scene. Chapter 7. Questioning Ning Hao, Understanding Ning Hao, Becoming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon hearing Ning Hao's praise, Jiang Feng also turned his head to look at Ning Hao. Although Jiang Feng still wore a smile on his face, it was no longer Manager Lu's arrogant and disdainful smile, but a warm and easygoing smile. He was not immersed in the emotions of the play, but quickly walked out. Seeing Jiang Feng's performance, Ning Hao nodded in agreement. It was not until this moment that the on-site staff realized how explosive Jiang Feng's acting skills were. Several actors have already tried the same lines and segments on the spot before. Not to mention, no one has ever achieved such an effect, giving them such a strong sense of immersion. Just those half-hearted actors, not letting the staff see and laugh is considered very successful. When everyone understood how impressive Jiang Feng's acting skills were, they finally understood the decision made by Ning Hao. Really, in the face of absolute acting skills, word-of-mouth, traffic, and understanding are not as important. Oh my God, Jiang Feng's acting skills are also too strong. As an actor without a professional background, I have followed his emotions. If it weren't for teacher Jiang Feng's numerous films and TV shows, I would have thought he was the leader of a fraud group. Just now, I accidentally met Manager Lu's gaze. Oh my God. I feel like I'm already his prey, and the next second I'll be devoured alive by him. I seriously doubt now that Jiang Feng is not good at acting, but has spent some time facing the north. Without personal experience, how could he act so realistically? I understand now why producer Ning hates fresh meat so much. With the presence of a powerful actor like Jiang Feng, it's completely a case of gotcha indiscriminate killing, okay. With such an audition segment, everyone was impressed by Jiang Feng's acting skills. No one questioned Ning Hao's decision anymore, let alone felt that Jiang Feng's acquisition of the role of Manager Lu was not in line with his character. Ning Hao took Jiang Feng's hand and gave him a big hug. At this moment, Ning Hao's eyes were filled with admiration for Jiang Feng's acting skills. After a warm embrace, Ning Hao also officially invited Jiang Feng. Jiang Feng, welcome to join the crew of All for One. As Ning Hao's voice fell, thunderous applause echoed on the scene, and the entire crew welcomed Jiang Feng's joining with practical actions. With excellent acting skills as a stepping stone, Jiang Feng's subsequent work becomes much easier. Signing contracts, taking makeup photos, promoting copy, all the work projects were completed in one go, and everyone tried their best to make Jiang Feng worry less and did their best to assist him in shaping the character of Manager Lu. All the staff who have watched the scene of Jiang Feng's performance are treating him with respect. They called out Teacher Jiang Feng one by one, with a devout and humble attitude. At this moment, only the excellent talented actor Jiang Feng is in their minds. As for the previous black materials of Jiang Feng, they have completely forgotten them. Compared to those legal and resource experts, Jiang Feng just said a few more truths. Where is this black material? It's clearly a clear trend in the entertainment industry. Thanks to the recognition of Jiang Feng by the staff of All for One, the publicity work was immediately put into the schedule. Prior to this, All-in-One had established official accounts on various social media platforms and released several makeup posters for its actors. After taking Jiang Feng's makeup photos, the staff of the publicity team also worked overtime to make the makeup posters. The scene used for the makeup poster is a trial scene by Jiang Feng. The banknotes poured down from the sack and gently slid over Manager Lu's hand. The entire scene was bright, and Manager Lu's face also showed an arrogant smile. However, his face was indeed dull and gloomy, which also cast a sense of darkness over his entire being. The promotional staff of the production team felt a strong atmosphere just by seeing this makeup poster. It seems that Manager Lu will come out of the poster in the next second. The next morning, with the permission of Ning Hao, the propaganda personnel sent out Jiang Feng's makeup poster. The movie, All-in-One. At Jiang Feng Network world is captivating, with a moment of financial ruin. Will you be the next person to take the bait, Manager Lu? After the publicity personnel posted this update, they instinctively refreshed the page. Unfortunately, there has been no new data added at all. However, this is also quite normal. After all, All-in-One's name has just started filming, and previously only a few lead actors' makeup posters were released. Until now, the official account of All for One is only just over 10,000, and it is still the fans of those leading actors. In theory, once the promotional personnel release this setup photo, they can go offline directly. From the previous promotion situation, there are only fans of the actor below the comments section. Moreover, the comments are surprisingly consistent, with unanimous praise. Chapter 8. Out of Circle. Being ridiculed out of the circle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Among the thousands or hundreds of comments, almost none of them are useful and can be used as constructive opinions. But this time, the promotional staff did not urgently exit the account, but quietly waited for someone to discover the makeup poster. The highly aggressive copy, Manager Lu's arrogant expression, coupled with this full atmosphere with years of work experience, the publicity personnel always feel that this promotion can go viral. But after refreshing several times, there were still very few comments, and the mentality of the propaganda personnel was also a bit tense. He patiently handled other tasks and was ready to take a look at the data of this makeup poster after finishing his work. After about 3 or 4 hours, the propaganda personnel finished their work. At the first moment, he logged into the official account of All for One. He was still eagerly anticipating, and his heart couldn't help but accelerate a bit. As soon as it was launched, the propaganda personnel heard a pleasant message prompt sound. Ding dong, it keeps ringing non-stop. Just hearing this voice, the propaganda personnel know how much the response of the Jiang Feng makeup poster is. He took a closer look and saw that the data displayed in the background, such as likes, comments, and shares, was already 999 plus. Prior to this, the makeup posters of other lead actors in All for One had not received such a large amount of traffic. Even Zhang Yixing, who is hailed as the fourth son of returning to China and the top performer of the first generation, doesn't have such beautiful makeup poster data. The propaganda personnel eagerly posted that dynamic, and what caught the eye was the extremely beautiful data. Over 300,000 likes, over 200,000 reposts, and 130,000 comments, along with 60,000 followers on the official account of All for One. With such a high conversion rate, the eyes of the publicity personnel have already shone with gold. He knew that Jiang Feng's atmospheric makeup poster would definitely explode. But when the propagandist clicked on the comments section, his smile instantly froze. What kind of silly drama is this? Even if we only invited vases without acting skills, why did we still invite Jiang Feng, the great Buddha? These days, there are still crew members who dare to take Jiang Feng. You are also tough. Are you really not afraid of Jiang Feng turning red and directly stabbing your crew? I thought someone as noble as Jiang Feng would just step out of the circle. How did they even come out to film? Is it difficult? Have you spent all that 1 million on your bank card? Isn't it in the comments section? Jiang Feng's bad reputation is because he doesn't want to flatter, but at least he has acting skills. Unlike those little fresh meats, they don't have the ability and temper. Even people with extremely poor reputation like Jiang Feng dare to use it, and this crew is not a good one either. Great. I saved another movie ticket. When the propaganda personnel saw these comments, their faces also turned ugly. Good news, Jiang Feng's makeup poster has gone viral. The bad news is that Jiang Feng's black materials and bad reputation have been ridiculed and made public. The propaganda personnel looked at one comment after another, basically negating Jiang Feng. Although there were a few people who spoke out for Jiang Feng, they were all scolded back by netizens. How much does it cost to ask them again? If they have money, everyone can earn it together. Let them eat something good again, don't like Jiang Feng, this cheesy guy. Just looking at these annoying comments, the propagandists feel flustered and feel unworthy of Jiang Feng. Why should Jiang Feng be treated like this when his acting skills are so good? Thinking about it, the propaganda personnel also let out a heavy sigh. Then, he held the computer and went to find Ning Hao. Based on the current popularity, if the crew can come forward to clarify the casting, it will definitely add another spark to the crew's popularity. Correspondingly, netizens who have learned the truth will also show mercy. Therefore, the propaganda personnel displayed the dynamic to Ning Hao and expressed their own propaganda plan. Producer Ning, the current public opinion environment is very unfavorable to the reputation of our production team and teacher Jiang Feng. Should we respond quickly to avoid the negative impact from expanding? From the beginning, Ning Hao greatly appreciated Jiang Feng. Propaganda personnel naturally believed that Ning Hao would support Jiang Feng and seize the time to clarify. In this way, it can also restore the reputation of the production team and Jiang Feng's reputation of All for One. However, Ning Hao did not immediately provide corresponding solutions. He simply slid the screen silently and took in all the skeptical comments. After a while, Ning Hao slowly closed the computer and a faint smile appeared on his face. It doesn't matter. Netizens can comment as they want, so don't intervene for now. When the filming is almost done, we can release some trailers in advance. I believe that with the pinnacle of Jiang Feng's acting skills, it will definitely make those unknown netizens shut up and make them willingly walk into the cinema. Chapter 9. The script has been thoroughly turned over, and I don't know how. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Rao is that Ning Hao did not take any measures against online public opinion, but he still appears to have a clear victory. The reason behind it is his trust in Jiang Feng's acting skills. A good movie, the most important thing is a good crew. To break it down, there are good directors, good screenwriters, and good actors. Among them, the proportion of actors is the highest, and they have the greatest impact on the movie. Just like the scene of the Jiang Feng audition, there is only one simple sentence on the script. Manager Liu was among the piles of money, looking at his employees and saying. Just this sentence, Jiang Feng added the game of burlap money and chopstick money through his own understanding. And this series of designs, it is Jiang Feng who endows the character of Manager Liu with the soul, and also elevates the overall level of the drama. Ning Hao is well aware that the film and television industry has become increasingly desolate, not as brilliant as in previous years. What is this because of? It's not that the production team will be influenced by public opinion and deliberately cater to the audience. In this way, the core of the entire drama changed and became a product that was brought together from east to west. Without the core and integrity, we are not far from a bad drama. So, Ning Hao ignored the rumors and gossip online, and directly ignored those irrelevant comments. Only when the entire production team is fully committed to the creation of the film can it add color to the film. If you are fragrant, butterflies come naturally. At that time, Ning Hao believed that the exciting scenes and superb acting skills would allow the audience to let go of their prejudice against Jiang Feng and actively buy tickets to enter the cinema. After this little episode, Ning Hao turned his gaze to the scenery at the scene. Today's filming task is still very heavy, and it is the first time that Jiang Feng and the male lead Zhang Yixing have a scene together. Ning Hao is not very satisfied with the actor Zhang Yixing. He is not much different from those little fresh meats who have appearance and traffic. The acting skills are so poor that their plasticity is also quite weak. However, this Zhang Yixing is not without its merits. Compared to other arrogant and domineering little fresh meat, Zhang Yixing can still be considered humble. Not only did he join the group early, but he often consulted with the script to shape the character well. It was precisely because of this that Ning Hao turned a blind eye and left Zhang Yixing on the set. Looking at it, the scene has been set up almost, but neither of the two main actors has appeared yet. Faced with such a situation, Ning Hao couldn't help but furrow his brow. Hasn't Zhang Yixing come yet? What's going on with these little fresh meats? I don't have any sense of time. Producer Ning, Teacher Yixing went to find Teacher Jiang Feng with the script, as if they were playing against him. After hearing the assistant's explanation, Ning Hao's expression slightly softened. With Jiang Feng providing guidance from the side, Ning Hao felt relieved and did not ask anyone to urge him. When the scenes are all set up and the group performers are in place, it's not too late to call them over. After all, Jiang Feng's acting skills are superb, completely textbook-like. If Zhang Yixing could learn something from him, it would be a great thing for the crew. Meanwhile, in the lounge of Jiang Feng, Zhang Yixing was holding his wrinkled script and humbly came over to ask Jiang Feng for advice. Hello, Teacher Jiang Feng. I am Zhang Yixing, who plays Pan Xing in the play. After seeing your audition scene yesterday, I was impressed by your acting skills. You're welcome, Jiang Feng replied lightly. Teacher Jiang Feng, you are really too humble. Zhang Yixing paused and leaned in front of Jiang Feng. Teacher Jiang Feng, we will have a match later, but I am a bit uncertain and just wanted to play against you. If there is anything I did wrong in my performance, I hope you can criticize and correct me. Zhang Yixing looked at Jiang Feng with a sincere expression, hoping to receive his guidance. As Zhang Yixing said, he was truly impressed by Jiang Feng's audition scenes. Originally, when the agent brought over the video materials, Zhang Yixing still had some disdain. In Zhang Yixing's view, he is no different from Jiang Feng, both of whom are new generation actors. Even more so, my appearance and traffic are even more outstanding than Jiang Feng's. Zhang Yixing didn't understand why the agent brought over Jiang Feng's audition clips for him to learn. But after he finished reading it, he was completely refreshed and energized. Just through the screen, Zhang Yixing was frightened by Jiang Feng's fierce gaze. It has been 3 or 4 months since Zhang Yixing received Pan Xing's script, and he has been pondering this character, trying to shape it as well as possible. For this reason, this script was almost ruined by Zhang Yixing, and there were also many annotations written densely on it. However, even so, Zhang Yixing's understanding of the character Pan Xing is not thorough enough. Chapter 10. Let you act, I didn't let you embarrass me. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Zhang Yixing has always believed that the character of Pan Xing is a hero who dares to break through fraud dens, and should reflect the most heroic side. But it was just Jiang Feng's fierce gaze that scared Zhang Yixing and made him understand in such a difficult environment facing the north, and also facing Manager Lu, a ruthless fraud leader, it would be great if he could save his life. Not to mention, he jumped out at all costs and looked like a hero trying to save the masses. When Jiang Feng heard Zhang Yixing's analysis of his acting skills, saw the script in his hand, and the sincerity in his eyes, Jiang Feng also understood that Zhang Yixing came sincerely to seek advice. It's not that Jiang Feng has any prejudice against fresh meat like Zhang Yixing. But the ecological environment of the entire entertainment industry is quite poor, and I can't even hear the truth. That's also why, when my predecessor stood up and said a few honest words, he immediately penetrated the depths of the earth. But for the sake of Zhang Yixing's sincere inquiry, Jiang Feng still gave a little guidance. Anyway, Zhang Yixing is also the male protagonist of All for One and has a lot of roles. Between characters, what needs to be achieved is mutual achievement in order to make this drama shine. If you only want to play your role well and become that unique light, not only does it fail to achieve such an effect, but it may also have the opposite effect. As the guidance deepened, Zhang Yixing also thought with his mind. At this moment, the scene they are discussing is what they are going to shoot today. Pan Xing was scammed to the north by his friend and came to the fraud base for the first time. He saw the fraud leader, Manager Lu. The group of newcomers who were deceived by Pan Xing felt unwilling and wanted to return home. So, Pan Xing took the lead in shouting, "I want to go home," which attracted the agreement of the new generation. Teacher Jiang Feng, I used to feel like I had to shout out loud and say this sentence like a hero. Zhang Yixing paused and hesitated, but after seeing Manager Lu in your audition segment yesterday, I feel like I don't have the courage to shout it out myself. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng did not speak, but looked closely at Zhang Yixing. Zhang Yixing was originally looking at the script, still thinking about how to express this sentence. Suddenly, he felt a fiery gaze staring at him, and his heart couldn't help but start to furrow. Zhang Yixing swallowed his saliva and slightly looked up at Jiang Feng, but soon he lowered his head heavily again. At just one glance, Zhang Yixing was frightened by Jiang Feng's fierce gaze. Through close contact, he finally understood how powerful the killing power of Jiang Feng's gaze was. Not to mention shouting loudly as a rising bird, Zhang Yixing now dares not even fart. I want to go home. Zhang Yixing spoke intermittently, and his aura was completely suppressed by Jiang Feng. However, Jiang Feng did not feel excited because his acting skills overwhelmed him. If one glance has achieved such an effect, then really starting to act isn't Zhang Yixing going to be suppressed underground by the Jiang Feng. All-in-One aims to expose the real North China fraud group, demonstrate how cunning the fraud group led by Manager Lu is, and more importantly, demonstrate the intelligence and bravery of these small figures like Pan Xing in escaping the demon den. But now, under Zhang Yixing's interpretation, Pan Xing immediately became a cowardly person, completely losing the aura that the protagonist should have. The true Pan Xing should be brave and resilient. Even if one is scared, they won't be unable to say a complete sentence. Jiang Feng looked quietly at Zhang Yixing, his gaze gradually shifting from panic to determination. I want to go home. I want to go home. I'm going home. The 3 consecutive sentences of wanting to go home directly touched the depths of Zhang Yixing's heart. With a loud bang, Zhang Yixing felt that his brain was about to explode. Shocking. An unprecedented shock. Zhang Yixing never imagined that he could act in such a way. 3 sentences in a row are exactly the same, and the mood can be improved by changing the tone. The most crucial thing is that Jiang Feng's gaze also changed accordingly. Although Jiang Feng's expression remained unchanged, Zhang Yixing felt his powerful acting skills. At the same time, Zhang Yixing also gained a deeper understanding of the character Pan Sheng. It's like having a face-to-face conversation with Pan Sheng just now. After a long time, Zhang Yixing slowly let out a breath and said, "Teacher Jiang Feng, I seem to understand." In such an environment, what Pan Sheng wants to do is not to be a rising star, nor does he want to be a hero. He just expresses his thoughts purely and really wants to go home. Upon hearing Zhang Yixing's words, Jiang Feng nodded in agreement. With Zhang Yixing's level of proficiency, it is already quite impressive to be able to comprehend this level. Compared to the intermittent and pretentious, "I want to go home," it's much better, at least it won't make Jiang Feng feel like his toes are on the ground.